Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to give you a quick little video walkthrough of two really important extensions that I use when I'm coding in React. Okay, so the first one, you probably heard me talking about it before. That's the React Snippets extension. Alright, so if you're just in VS Code, what you can do to install some extensions, which are just like add-ons onto your code editor. You would just come down here to this little box right here, these little boxes. It says extensions, okay? Click on that and just come in here and search React, okay? And it's going to be the second one you see. It says ES7, React Redux, GraphQL, React Native Snippets, okay? So go ahead and install this. It's what allows us to quickly create components by typing like RCC. It'll give you your boilerplate, or creating a constructor really fast. You would just type rconst. It gives you that boilerplate right here. So you can just start typing your state in there. Okay. So yeah, that's a really good one to have. And if you want to figure out what the snippets are, right? You would just scroll through here. Okay. They got a whole lot of them. You get to a little section called React. In here you can find like rconst. That's the constructor that we saw. Okay, so these are just like little React snippets you can use. And then if you want the snippets for the React components, okay, scroll down a little farther and you're going to see React components. Okay, so if you type RCC, you'll get this boilerplate where it says export default right here, the same line that you write your class name. Or you can do RCE where it says export default below where you have your class name, right? So when you use this, it'll figure out what your file name is. Like, so for this one, I'm in my app.js. If I type RCE, it'll name my class whatever my file name is, and same goes for the export default right there. Okay. So yeah, obviously as you learn more and more stuff about React, some more of these snippets might become useful to you, but they're worth digging into and looking at. All right, because you're gonna want to save yourself some time. All right, the next thing you're gonna want is Prettier. Okay, so you come in here and type Prettier. Let me zoom in a little bit just so you guys can see this. My bad. Prettier. All right, and that is a auto formatter. Okay, so you can download this extension and it'll auto format your code for you. Okay, and you can set it up to where every time you save your file, it'll auto format your code. All right. So the way to do that, to set up auto formatting with this right here, is you're going to want to mess with your VS Code's settings file. Okay. So in order to do that on a Mac, we're going to hit Command-Shift-P, and we're going to type in settings. Okay. And what you want to do is click on settings JSON. Okay. And that's going to open up this this big JSON file with some key value pairs. Okay. And in here we're going to edit a few things. All right. If you're on Windows, you would have to do something else, but all you got to do is go into Google, type in how to open settings JSON VS Code. Okay. Just do the developer thing and Google it. All right. And so we'll just click on this right here. All right. So if you scroll down, it'll say on Windows, Linux, you go to File, Preferences, and Settings. Or on Mac OS, you go to Code, Preferences, and Settings. Okay, that would open up your settings file, not the settings JSON. So let me do that here. So it said Code, Preferences, Settings. All right, that'll bring us to this little page right here. All right, and in order to get to the settings JSON, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come up here to the right corner. There's this little page with like an arrow on it. It says Open Settings JSON. We're going to click on that, and it brings us right here to our settings JSON. Alright, so here are the settings that you're going to need to add to your file. Okay, so I have editor.format on save false. Okay, so this is in some quotes right here. I'll set it to false, and then make sure you add a comma, because if you don't add a comma, it's going to break your file. It'll have a little red squiggly line, so make sure you have your commas at the end of your line. Alright, and then I have editor.defaultformatter. Okay, that's in quotes, and then I set the value of that to be esbemp.prettier-vs code. Alright, and that is in quotes. And then after that, I have JavaScript in quotes and brackets. Alright, and then I said colon brackets, and then I put editor.defaultformatter is esbemp.prettier-vs code. Might be a little redundant right here, but that's how I got it to work. And then editor.format on save true. Okay, so you know, if we're in React and we have stuff like all over the place, it's really ugly. It's a huge waste of time to have to come in here and manually set them to where they want to be. You know what I'm saying? So with these settings, you can just hit save. So I'll hit Command S on Mac, and it auto formats for me. Okay, and it kind of works as like a debugger as well, right? So I just put this little bug in my code right here, right? And now if I try to save it, it's not gonna auto format for me. So that means, that tells me I have a bug somewhere, right? So let me fix that really quick. All right, I got the red squiggly lines to go away. The bug is gone, and now if I hit save, it formats for me. So kind of works as like a debugger as well. Okay, and then the last thing that you're gonna want in your settings JSON, all right, we need to give an Emmet setting. Okay, so Emmet is when you're typing in HTML, you can do something like, you know, you can just type like P and hit enter, and it'll give you a P tag, you know, or you know, UL, it'll just give you an unordered list. And then also, you know, you can make these things with class names right away. So if I say p dot my class name, it's going to give me a p tag with a class name of my class name, right? I can do the same thing with an ID. So if I say UL, I want an ID of you know, something, I'll just say UL hashtag something, right? And it gives me an ID with something. Okay, and you can chain them together too. So if I wanted like a div with a class name of box, you know, I could just do that just by typing box, because the default container is a div. And then if you want to chain class names on here, like obviously if I hit space and type something else, it's not going to work. But what I could do is say box, and say I want a class name of like box large. I would just say dot box large, right? So I put another dot, and then that treats it like a space, right? So that's Emmet, but it doesn't work by default in React. Okay, so what you got to do is add this to your settings JSON. You would say Emmet, this stuff right here, Emmet.include languages. And then inside some curly braces, you'd say JavaScript React. Okay. You'd go ahead and save it, and then you'd have to reload your window so you can close it out. Or if you're on a Mac, you can hit Command-Shift-P, like we did earlier, and type reload window. And then your settings will be available to you, the stuff you changed. All right. So that's pretty much it. Those are the two most important ones that I want you to use. It's going to save you a lot of time coding stuff in React, and a lot of time formatting your code. Alright, that's what these extensions are for, to save us time and heartache. Alright, so get those installed, and if you have any issues with any of these things working, just reach out to me. and let me know, and we'll figure out what the issue is. Alright, see ya.